آریانا افغانستان یگانه شبکه تلویزیونی ملی افغانها در خارج از کشور.
توانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.
دلوی او بخونگی خدای پنامه گران و قدر و دوستانا سلام علیکم ایله ده چرا خوشحال هورا مسی او دنین رازه ده پوهن رانا ده په اخبرانه دیر خیرغلاست زه مریم اسماعیل ارسلایم او ده اخبرانه تاست ده آریانا افغانستان ده نریوال شبکه خبرانه کام خدای ده کری چه دنین رازه ده پوهن رانا ده اخبرانه معلومات هم ستاسو استفاده و رسیگی. بینندگان عزیز و ارجمند برنامه دانش روشنایی است. با آرزوی صحت سلامت شما برنامه امروز آغاز می‌کنیم. امیدوار هستم شاد و صحتمند باشین و هفته خوش و پرثمره در هر گوشه و کنار جهان که هستین با عزیزانتان سپری کرده باشین. و بازم خوشحال هستم که در برابر شما بینندگان عزیز و دوست داشتنی قرار دارم و در قدم اول باز هم از همه شما عزیزان ممنون و سپاسگزار هستم که با ایمیل ها و پیام های پر از محبت و لطفتان همیشه به ما انرژی میبخشین تا بتانم که زیادتر سعی کوشش کنم که برنامه های بهتر و بیشتر خوبتری رو براتون تهیه بسازم. و باز هم از شما تقاضا و خواهش ما از شما بینندگان عزیز ای است که شما هم اگر نظریات و پیشنهادات داشته باشین آزادانه میتونید بر ما ایمیل کنین و یا از طریق مسنجر برام بنویسین بفرستین و همچنان تلفن بعد از ختم برنامه میتونین کنین و نظریاتتون رو بگوین. انشالله که نظریات شما عزیزا و بینندگان محترم و عزیز و گرامی هم پذیرفته میشه و حتما ملاحظه میشه. و خب دوستان عزیز باز هم معذرت میخوایم از اینکه برنامه ما یک اندازه دیرتر آغاز شد به خاطر که میهمان عزیز ما البته در ترافیک لاس آنجلس بند موندن و من منتظر بودم که اونا اول بیاین که یک جا با هم برنامه را شروع کنیم ولی متاسفانه اونا هنوز هم برای هستن. خب تا وقتی که اونا به خیر میرسن امیدوارم به خیر و به صحت و سلامت برسن که ترافیک بسیار خراب است. امیدوارم که به خوبی برسن و بعدا ما صحبت خود با اونا آغاز میکنیم. ولی فعلا موضوعی که میخوایم در موردش صحبت کنم در این هفته البته آگاهی از در این کلمه خاص برش نداریم ولی در انگلیسی ببخشین bullying awareness week است. bullying یعنی که تحکیم کس را زیر تأثیر خود آوردن، از کسی فشار روی جسمی، روحی، زبانی، هر نگاهی که یک چیزی که ناخوشایند باشه بر طرف مقابل او را البته بولینگ میگن. و در این هفته است که مثلا در مکاتب همیشه برای شاگردا آگاهیشون میخوایم زیاد بسازیم در مورد بولینگ که نه قربانی ازی شوند که خودشان زیر تاثیر کس باشن که اونا را کسی اذیت کنن که باعث پریشانی فکرشان شوه، باعث نارامیشان شوه، باعث ازی شوه که حتی خواب خود از دست بتن، حتی اشتهای خود از دست بتن. و همچنان برای کسایی که خودشان البته بولی هستن به اصطلاح و امی کار انجام میتن بالای یک شخص دیگه و بالای یک نوجوان و یک طفل دیگه، برای از اونا هم آگاهیشان بیشتر شود که چی کارهای اونا میتونن کنند که امی عادات منفی و بسیار مزیت خود از بین ببرن. به خاطر یک شخصی که میخواد که اشخاص دیگه را بولی کنن، اونا عموما کسانی هستند که خودشان در زندگی یک صدمه دیدن یا پدر و مادر برایشان بسیار زیاد تسلط منفی بالایشان داشتن و زیر تاثیر منفی خود اونا را داشتن که اونا و یا که خواهر و برادر بزرگشان و یا یک کسی عموما از فامیل شروع میشن. و امی وقت است که وقتی که یک طفل که بولی شده می باشد در طفولیت یک عقده شخصی می داشته باشه که یگانه راه که امی عقده را قسم از سینه خود دور کنه است که امو کار با دیگران عمل میکنه. باید که بسیار ضرور است که برای پدر و مادرها که با فرزندان خود باید صحبت کنیم که فرزندان ما باید آگاهیشان زیاد شود که هیچ وقت کسی را موقع نده که یک به یک قسم پیش آمد امرایشان داشته باشه، اذیتشان کنه. و مخصوصا سایبر بولینگ که از نگاه تکنولوژی بسیار زیاد است که بسیاری آله چون سر کار اطفال و نوجوان ها همه با تکنولوژی است، از طریق تلفن، فیسبوک، اینستاگرام و چیزهای دیگه، سوشال میدیاهای دیگه و یا رسانه‌های اجتماعی دیگه یکدیگر اذیت میکنن. و ما باید که به فرزندان خود یاد بدهیم که نه کسی را باید اینا خودشان اذیت کنه و بولی کنن و نه اجازه بدن که اونا را کسی باعث اذیتشان شود. باید براتون همیشه همرشان صحبت کنین که متوجه باشن وقتی اگر در این موضوع صحبت نکنین فکر میکنن که البته این یک موضوع عادی است، قبول شده است و چیز نیست که اینا را ناراحت بسازه. خب خوشبختانه دوستان عزیز ارجمند، مهمان عزیز ما تشریف آوردن و حالا میپردازیم به محتویات برنامه و باز در مورد بولینگ و یا آزار و اذیت بیجا هم یک برنامه به خصوص میسازیم، برای که موضوع بسیار مهم و اساسی است که در موردش باید که بیشتر صحبت شود. خب میمون عزیز ما هستن آقای ادم صدیق که در گذشته هم 2 بار مهمان ما بودن. آقای ادم صدیق یک استراتژیست و یا یک پلانگذار بسیار موفق و خوب هستن، یک نویسنده بسیار خوب هستن که یک کتاب جدیدشان نو به نشر رسیده. کتابشان است به نام Shackled: A Journey from Political Imprisonment to Freedom، یعنی به زنجیر بسته سفر از حبس سیاسی به طرف آزادی. و همچنان ادم صدیق جوان بسیار نام خدایشان فهمیده و بسیار علاقه دارن به چیزهایی که جوانایی که در اینجا تولد شدن شاید که قدر علاقه نداشته باشن و اینا هم پروژکت در مورد مولانا هم آغاز کردن که در این مورد هم صحبت میکنن. خوشحال هستیم که آقای ادم صدیق با خود داریم. سلام ادم جان.
Salam.
I'm so glad you made it.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's okay. So was traffic really bad, huh?
Horrible, yeah.
So this is your book.
Yes, and this is your
Oh,
copy
thank you.
too.
So very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's impressive. How long did it take you to write this book?
How long? So in terms of actual writing time, it was about 4 years, but 2.5 years was full-time focus. Like every day, all day I was writing, interviewing my grandpa, editing. But about 4 years, I knew I wanted to write this book though for the, like about 10 years ago I wanted to write this book. So I made the time for it 4 years ago.
Oh wow, that's still impressive. So what got you interested in writing a book about your grandfather?
Yeah, so first I remember being 6 years old. I was 6 years old when I first heard the story about what my grandparents and their whole family went through. I was just 6 years old. I was just sitting in the living room. Everyone was sitting there. Grandparents came and somehow someone asked my grandpa a question and he was just saying what was happening, and I heard him say that he was imprisoned when he was 6 years old, and I was just there probably playing Pokemon or something, thinking, wow, I'm 6 years old, and when he was my age he was in jail, and I looked at him, and he's very optimistic, very positive. He's always, he's just always in a positive attitude, and generally can take life lighter, can pretty humorous person. And I thought to myself, if he was in jail for 20 years, starting at 6 years old, I have no problems in my life. So it started when I was 6.
So you were 6 years old and you had all these thoughts, and
these are all my thoughts.
This is how you're analyzing what your
like
grandfather
that, just
was.
like that.
Oh,
I
wow.
heard it, and right away the first thing is like, I have no problems in my life, and so that's been with me ever since. There, it's still with me. Just, I mean, of course, things happen. Like I just had the traffic problem, and I didn't think I thought I was going to beat traffic. I got there right in the beginning, the worst time to get in traffic. It can be seen as a problem. I just, but I won't dwell on things.
So as a strategist, what would you do next time so you'll be on time?
Yeah, well, so first of all, I made the mistake of listening to Google Maps, which said it was an hour away. I should plan for at least an hour of traffic, so come 2 hours earlier as opposed to 1.5.
It was just teasing. Well, I'm sure the traffic made you nervous. So
Yeah.
All right. So most people your age do not spend much time with their grandparents.
Yeah.
I mean, other than what you told me, what else inspired you and to spend so much time with your grandfather? And I mean, maybe I know as a 6-year-old you were already so wise in that, but are there anything else that made you spend more time with your grandfather? And I know at 6 years old you found out all that stuff, but at what point did you start writing the book and deciding to write this? Yeah,
actually there's a lot of things, a lot of different things that made me want to spend more time with my grandparents. One, I still remember when I was like in high school, and during the winter breaks, everyone has the winter break and the summer break, and I was just spending a lot of time with my friends, just like anyone else would probably do. And I started realizing how much of the time I was spending, maybe with friends or here or there, I didn't feel like there was anything really maybe productive or valuable, or it wasn't even that fun. It was just kind of like a bunch of kids hanging out together, no parents, just kind of want that freedom. And I was thinking about, well, my grandparents, they're this age, and they're not going to be here forever. But these guys are probably going to at least be here for another 70 years. Why don't I spend more time with my grandparents? And then there's, kind of, not saying like I cut time with my friends or anything completely, but I just kind of minimize it. So when I was with my friends, I was having a really great time. But when I was with my grandparents, I was spending as much time as I could, not just kind of just being there. It's kind of easy to just be there, say hi, this, that, and then walk away. I wanted to get to know all of their lives. The way I think elders are like a mine of gold. They've lived through so many different decades. They've seen everything when like people thought the world is going to end, all the way to like when they thought it's like the best time ever, and they've seen the cycles, And at that time, I was maybe like 16, 17 years old. And I'm like, I've only been here 16, 17 years. I grew up here in California. No matter what I thought was a problem, I've had it easy all my life. These people, they went through real problems. They went through wars. They went through, in the case of my grandpa, he was in prison. But, everyone, they went through the war that happened, Soviet War in 79. I don't know what that feels like to have some kind of situation like that. And my problems at that 16, 17 is like, is this girl going to go on a date with me? This kind of thing. So you hear those stories, you just start to realize that there's really nothing to worry about in life. That if they can handle such intense stress with ease, then we should be able to handle small things like it's like a piece of cake. So I was just spending a lot of time with them, learning. I wanted to learn more about their lives, their history, and then what I realized eventually was I said, you know what, I told my grandpa, I said, I want to write a book about your life, because he did it in Farsi. They tried to translate it to English, but the translation was really bad, and it was all scattered. Actually, there was like 100 pages missing, so it's big kind of holes. But the translation still helped me a little bit to get some ideas of questions to ask. Then began the 4 years of interviewing him, even 1 year living with him. Probably drove him crazy every day asking him about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No, you must have been
Yeah.
feeling blessed to have
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
This is awesome because you realized at a very young age that you wanted to learn more about him. And there are kids that. How old are you, by the way?
25.
25. There are kids that they realize that when it's too late, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I wish I did that when you. So you're very mature that you could think that far in advance and saying, okay, this is the time to do this.
Yeah. But that's one of the reasons why I had the urgency is that I was just thinking like, I was just afraid that, I didn't want to miss out on that time. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to feel like, oh, it's too late, they're gone. I completely lost the chance, Right now there's, I don't know if you heard on the news, there's a lot of attention going on with this Bitcoin thing. Everyone's like, oh, you should have invested in Bitcoin like 5 years ago. You'd have so many $1 million. Things come and go with these kind of investments, but the one investment that you only have one chance to make early on is that time you can spend with your family and your elders. So I think it's very special.
If you don't mind, I'm going to do a quick translation,
Yeah, of course.
because this is very valuable, what you said, so our young people will learn from this. خب دوستای عزیز، البته کسایی که به زبان انگلیسی بلدیت دارن فهمیدیم که آدم جان صدیق چی گفتن. واقعا که یک موضوع بسیار مهم و اساسی است که والدین باید به فرزندان خود بفهمانند که پدرکلان و مادرکلان و بزرگای ما برای همیشه در دنیا نیستن و یک وقتی که اینا کلان میشن ما فکر میکنیم خب طفل است، تینیجر است، بگذاریم بانیم که کار خود کنم و کارشان غرض نگیریم. البته آدم خودش یک طفل آگاه بود و نوجوان آگاه بود که خودش تصمیم گرفت که برای وسط 6 سالگی متوجه شد که وقتی صحبت‌های پدرکلان خودش شنید که زیادتر یاد بگیره و متوجه شد که واو، من چقدر زندگی آرام دارم، هیچ مشکلی ندارم. و به سن 16 سالگی مثلا علاقه گرفت که زیادتر در مورد بیاموزه، فکر کرد که دوستا و رفیقایم همیشه هستن. اما اطفال، اما نوجوانان به این فکر نمی باشن، به خاطر اینقدر اصطلاح دیسترکشن و مغشوشیت های فکری و سرگرمی ها برای فرزندای ما زیاد است که خودمون میبینیم که مصروف هستن و ما هم مصروف کار خود میباشیم، اصلا متوجه این موضوعات نمیشیم. ولی وقتی که این نوجوان و اطفال بزرگ میشن احساس یک کمبودی میکنن، فکر میکنن بعضی اوقات که کاش که من می کارم میکردم، کاش که من امر پدرکلانم مادرکلانم می وقت سپری میکردم که یاد میگرفتم درباره گذشته هایشان، درباره زندگیشان، درباره اجداد خود. و وقت می باشه که بسیار ناوقت می باشه. اگر ما امی صحبت ها را روشن کنیم و برای همیشه امی موضوع را یک چیز بسیار اولیت و اساسی برشان نشان بدیم و از طفولیت متوجه بسازیمشانه، بسیار خوب است، به خاطر که زیادتر تجربهشان به اصطلاح ریچ می باشه، زیادتر به خود هر قدر در مورد خود، در مورد فامیل خود، در مورد گذشته خود بفهمن، گذشته های خود با مو اندازه اینا به خود محتکب می باشن، به خود اتکا می کنن، به خود اعتماد می داشته باشن، به خود افتخار می کنن و هیچ وقت زیر تاثیر کسی دیگر نمیرن، به خاطر که خودشون هویت خود می فهمن. هر قدر که یک طفل و یک نوجوان در اینجا هویت خود در موردش معلومات داشته باشه، با مو اندازه موفق‌تر می باشه و هیچ وقت زیر تاثیرات منفی جامعه نمیره. Alright, so were there any other benefits spending time with your grandfather?
Yeah.
Or what else did you learn from him?
Many. So I think there's some things that you learn that you can read in a book, you can do this, but it's completely different when you can be with someone and really be with their presence, For instance, it took my grandpa 8 years to get a visa just to go and see his father, who was exiled in Germany. The amount of patience that took and perseverance to keep trying no matter what, every time he was getting rejected, to go and see his father that's something that for me, like I feel like patience is something that's always been taught. They say, "Oh, be patient, be patient," but to be with him and hear him say the story to me and hear him say it multiple times, and to feel the energy behind his story, it got in it like almost like it's in my bones now that to trust that things work in timing. I mean, of course, like sometimes timing, like the traffic is crazy.
I'm not going to pick on you again.
I know. It's funny. Sometimes you're thinking, oh my God, why does this have to happen right now? But in the end, I think there's just a different level of calmness. I don't get as stressed with things anymore just because I've spent so much time with him. I've seen that a lot of things, I feel like nothing ever goes the way we plan. I heard a joke once that said, if you want to make God laugh, tell God your plans. And I think that when you get to be with for me, when I was my grandpa, I got to learn that so many things, this whole life didn't go as planned. But still, there's this trust that things work out, and in the end, things do work out. Life is ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. When we're up, we're excited, we want to party, tell everybody about it. When we're down, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? I think to have that peace and the humility that, life is much larger than each of us individually, and to trust that somehow, some way, life can happen for us, but at the same time, focus on how can I make the most of this moment,
That's so true. Just what happened to you, similar thing happened to my son with the traffic for you.
Yeah.
So yesterday he was awarded with Scientist of the Week, and that was the day he forgot his homework at home.
Oh,
so you were here talking about this, and he got stuck in the traffic.
Something.
But but don't be disappointed in you. There are some things, like you said, God would laugh if you tell him. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I think we never know how it's going to work out in the long, in the big picture, until we do know. But then we only get like one peek, and there's still so much more, And
I had so much plans for you to be here if you were here earlier, and probably God laughed at me too for. Oh. But that's okay.
Yeah.
So we're not going to pick on you again.
Okay, thank you.
So what are some things that people will gain from reading your book?
Yeah. For one, I think you'll gain what I gained when I was 6 years old, which is that no matter what problems you're going through life, they'll shrink in size. And I think when you can make a problem go from sometimes if you let the problem go out of control, it's like the monster is getting so big, it's like eating you. I think it can shrink your problems and remind you that you have the ability, no matter what's happening, to make the most of your situation. For instance, he's 6 years old, my grandpa, when he's put in jail, and it's 20 years, and they don't give him anything. They don't, he's not learning or anything when he was imprisoned. But they found a way with Saka to when the Kapchis weren't paying attention. His aunt, Kuku John, told the Saka, said, "Hey, can we give you some money? You can bring us some papers, some pens, some ink, and maybe some books. Just smuggle it in with us." They made this happen. The next time the Saka came with the water, he went to go and fill the jug up with his water skin, and when the Kapchi wasn't paying attention, he just took the paper and the pens out of his stomach and just hid it behind the jug. And now they have something they can work with. But before they were doing this, they're learning the alphabet with a rock on the floor, and then learning how to write more grammar and stuff on the walls with charcoal. Eventually they had some kind of underground school system. This paid off later on when he was about 13, 14 years old. He went to the adult prison in Demazang, and instead of just looking at prison like, oh my God, I'm stuck here, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, there's no term, there's no justice, I'm here. He just looked, he said, wow, I have all these people who went to university right next to me. I'm going to learn from them. And so he learned, 6 languages? Farsi, Pashto, English, German, French, and Arabic.
Wow.
All in jail.
Impressive.
Philosophy, he learned from all the great philosophers, from all the poets. He learned thousands of poems from Maulana. Everything. He made the most of it. Basically, he turned the jail into university. And whenever I asked him, I said, how did you... I asked him before in an interview I recorded with him, how did you make it through all this time in prison? He said, I was not in prison, I was in university.
Wow, what a positive
So we can change things in our mind, right. And I think that's one thing you learn throughout it all. There is a lot of tragedy in the book. There's a lot of it's a very raw story I wrote. So it's like that's the reality. But I think what people will get out of reading it is they'll realize that we are more resilient than we think we are. Mm-hmm. And I think Afghan people especially are more resilient than anybody in the world thinks they are. So I think that would be the main things I would say that people can benefit from reading the book.
So when you're talking about the Kopchi and Sakau and Dimazang and all that, when he was talking to you, were you able to understand and visualize all that stuff? Did you have to research what Sakau? What does he do? Like a real Sakau? What does he look like? Have you seen pictures of Demazang and all that?
Yeah, I saw the pictures of Demazang. I can't, obviously I didn't have any photos of the other prisons. They were just kind of small havelis. Mm-hmm. They probably don't even exist today. Mm-hmm. But I asked him so many questions with so much detail so he can paint the picture in my mind. And whenever he's talking to me, I did see it like a movie. So I think the way I wrote the book, it should be very easy for people to imagine. At least a lot of people who read so far, they said like, oh, it's like they feel like they can just see everything. Okay.
So did you use those words like Sakau and Kopchi?
And then I put the translation.
You put the translation. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So there's like 100 footnotes in here. So I introduced them to a lot of words. Yeah. Okay.
And where can people get the book from?
Yeah, so the book is on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble, and then if around the world, it's in different bookstores, online bookstores, actual physical bookstores. I don't know all the physical ones that have it, but the two places I know that you can get it quick is Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
And the audiobook is coming out soon.
Oh wow!
Next week, yeah. Okay. Which will be on Amazon as well.
Is that going to be your voice or?
Yeah, I already recorded. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because usually there are very rarely that writer themselves narrated, but since you have a beautiful voice, I guess.
Thank you.
I listened to your reciting of Maulana's poems. Was beautiful.
Thank you.
Which I will be playing.
Okay, great. Yeah.
All right. So, do you have anything else about your book that you would like to add, or should we get into Maulana?
Yeah, I'll say one thing. So, I wrote on the back of my book. A lot of people write something like. They talk about the author, the biography. I wrote something very different just because this is something I really hope people see, not just from reading my book, but by seeing me as an example for it. I want more people to do this. I wrote, Adam Seddiq is the grandson of Khalid Seddiq. Adam wrote Shackled alongside his grandfather Khalid, a shared journey they hope will inspire others to become more involved in the sacred bond between the youth and their elders. Really, what I would love is if anybody's watching this, anybody's listening to this, to go and just spend some time with your grandparents. And if your grandparents are not alive right now, find some grand uncles or grand aunts. There's someone in the family. If they're in another country, just call them. And I just say, ask them, like, write down 10 or 20 questions that are basic questions you can ask anybody about their life, their history. What's like the best time of their life. What was the hardest thing they went through? How did they overcome it? Why was the best time of their life the best time? Different things like this. And get to know it. And I think, even if you do nothing with it, just to get to know, I'd like to see more people.
That's such a good advice. I will translate that too.
Okay, great.
چیزی که البته آدم جان گفتن که در پایان کتاب خود نوشتن که توصیه است برای نوجوانا و جوانا که اگر پدر کلان و مادر کلانشان یعنی در قید حیات نیستن میتونن که یک بزرگ دیگه فامیل پیدا کنن و سوالای خود قبلا آماده بسازن، مثلا 10-15 سوال بنویسن درباره اجداد خود درباره پدر کلان و مادر کلان درباره گذشته های خود و این معلومات بگیرن، به خاطر که معلومات بسیار ارزنده است و همیشه برایشان یک چیز است که باقی میمونه و همیشه میتونه که امو معلومات، امو داستان، امو حکایات برای فرزندان خود پس کنن و برسانن و برشان بگوین. و این یک چیز است که بسیار ضرور است که هر کس هر قدر که در مورد گذشتگان خود، در مورد همه فامیل خود معلومات داشته باشند، با مو اندازه به اصطلاح ریشهشان محکمتر و خوبتر می باشه و یک نظر بسیار خوبه است تا کسایی که خدا نخواسته یعنی پدر کلان و مادر کلانشان در قید حیات نیستن مایوس نباشن. یک نظری بسیار خوبی بود که میتونن که بزرگای دیگه فامیل با ایشان یک مصاحبه داشته باشن، حتی اگر در راه دور باشن میتونن تلفنی صحبت کنن. اصلا که آدم جان گفتن. خب آدم جان, I was very impressive. I'd love to start reading that, and I know you autographed this book for me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you first get fascinated with Maulana?
Great question.
I'm sure it has something to do with your grandfather.
Yeah. You know what's interesting actually is that I didn't understand how involved my grandpa was with Maulana when I was first getting involved with Maulana and writing just my own interpretations of certain poems and verses of his. And then one day I went to my grandpa, just because my dad said, oh, you wrote the same thing that Baba John wrote, but neither of you know that you wrote the same thing. And so we found this direct link, and actually I spent a lot of time with my grandpa. We just go on and on and on talking about Maulana and his messages. I can't say I exactly remember when, just because growing up I heard so much music. I just didn't understand that so much of that music was inspired by his poetry. But those are my favorite songs. But when I was really just going in and reading the Masnavis and then reading different texts, the biographies, even like the more rendered, the new versions that they've made, I think that was probably when I was around like 19 years old, maybe 18, 19. And then I just was completely fascinated.
Wow, that's still young, very young.
Yeah, and I just found it one day. Actually, I still remember one of the first messages I saw from Maulana. This is just a short verse, and it said, do not feel lonely. The entire universe is within you. And I read it at a time, I think I was just in some other country by myself, and I was feeling very alone.
Wow, yes.
And I just saw this just once somewhere. I don't even remember how I saw it. And I just said, oh wow, that's incredible.
What a great message at that time.
Yeah, I know. And so as I was reading more and more, I just like his messages, I just thought are unbelievable, It's just something else.
So you made a community for Maulana, right? When did you decide to do that, and why?
Yeah, so I decided to do that, I think it was May 18th of last year. And it grew pretty fast. I had, I just started it then. From May to August 18th, actually exactly 3 months, my birthday, it went from 0 to 100,000 people. Today it's around close to 170,000 people with all the different social media platforms. And I have published close to 100 of his poems. I just read them in English. They're not the exact, not all of them are exact translations from the Masnavi. They're kind of rendered from an author, Coleman Barks. He kind of changed the language. He wanted to stay true to the meaning, but just kind of changed a little bit more. However, I am also reading the direct translation of the Masnavis, and then working with my grandpa. He's doing all of it in Farsi. I'm doing it in English, and then I'm going to have other people from around the world do it in French and Spanish, Italian, German, Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, everything you can imagine.
So out of those hundreds, how many of those have you recorded so far?
So far, I think I recorded exactly about 120, but about
okay.
close to 100 are published.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is your big vision for what you will do with all of Maulana's poem and messages?
Yeah, so I have a very big goal. I want 3 billion people to know his messages.
Okay.
And I think the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I can get enough people if I just get people who have a great voice, who understand Maulana and can speak in different languages, and we work together and they recite the poem in this language, and we can, cross the translation barrier. And that's my plan. I want to bring every single poem he ever wrote in all of history into voice and video.
What are your feelings and thoughts about different countries fighting and saying Maulana was ours?
That's a great question. I think if Maulana was alive right now, he would tell everybody, we're not even from here. So why are you fighting that I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here? He said, we're all from somewhere else and we're all going there.
Right.
I'm waiting for you.
Right.
I think that's what he would say, to be honest.
Yes.
However, I'm very well aware, obviously he's very popularized today as Rumi.
Right.
But he was never ever known as Rumi in his life. In fact, I don't even know when Rumi became the name. I'd be like just maybe 100 or 200 years ago, or a couple hundred years ago. I know him as Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad Balkhi, Balkh, Afghanistan.
Exactly.
Him, his father and grandfather were all great teachers, scholars over there, and that they immigrated, to many countries and eventually ended up in Konya, Turkey. That's how I know. That's how I know him. That's very much how I present him in the story. Not the story, in all the poems that I publish.
That's awesome.
And the page, so people are educated and they know that he comes from Balkh, Afghanistan. However, to answer the question, I do think he would say, I'm not even from here.
Right.
We're all from somewhere else.
Right. No, that's good. And I'm glad. So
Yeah.
in your community that you have built, you would also bring up that he was where...
Yeah. Actually, I want to, at a certain point, I don't think now is the right time because right now a lot of people find him through searching for Rumi.
Right.
But once I have grown it big enough, I will change it from Rumi to Balkhi. So I think a lot of people will be happy with that.
That's very, yes.
I will
we'll have you back here.
I'll put right now a lot of times I'm writing Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad Balkhi, and then in the parentheses I put Rumi because people know him as Rumi.
Right.
But I want people
once you educate everyone,
I want the people to know the truth.
Your community even grow bigger and they will...
Because then it's big enough that they know. Right now, it's I think 170,000 is still a lot of people, but once I think there's about a couple million people, when I make the change, I hope that all the other people that are seeing or think of him as Rumi understand his story more than just one quote or a few poems, really to understand the history of where he came from.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite messages from Maulana?
Oh, many. Actually, the very first poem from the very first book of Masnavi is probably one of my favorite poems of his of all time, out of all the poems. I would say it's probably top 3. And that's the poem of the reed flute. It's like making the crying sound. The sound is he's crying, the beautiful sound of the flute. It's a crying sound because it wants to go back with its source. It's everything pulled apart from the reed bed longs to go back to the reed bed. It's kind of the essence I see in a lot of this.
That's the one you've recorded, right?
I did record that one,
Okay,
yeah.
so we're going to play that. So شاب جان اگر زحمت نمیشه یکی they're shorts, we can probably play all 3 of them. خب اگر
Oh, this is the other one.
In the middle of the night, I cried out, "Who lives in this love I have?" You said, "I do, but I'm not here alone. Why are these other images with me?" I said, "They are reflections of you, just as the beautiful inhabitants of Chigil and Turkestan resemble each other." You said, "But who is this other living being?" "That is my wounded soul." Then I brought that soul to you as a prisoner. This one is dangerous, I said. Don't let him off easy. He winked and gave me one end of a delicate thread. Pull it tight, but don't break it. I reached my hand to touch you. You struck it down. Why are you so harsh with me? For good reason, but certainly not to keep you away. Whoever enters this place saying, "Here I am," must be slapped. This is not a pen for sheep. There are no separating distances here. This is love's sanctuary. Saladin is how the soul looks. Rub your eyes and look again with love at love.
Listen to the story told by the reed of being separated. Since I was cut from the reed bed, I have made this crying sound. Anyone apart from someone he loves understands what I say. Anyone pulled from a source longs to go back. At any gathering, I am there, mingling in the laughing and grieving, a friend to each, but few will hear the secrets hidden within the notes. No ears for that, body flowing out of spirit, spirit up from body. No concealing that mixing, but it's not given us to see the soul. The reed flute is fire, not wind. Be that empty. Hear the love fire tangled in the reed notes, as bewilderment melts into wine. The reed is a friend to all who want the fabric torn and drawn away. The reed is hurt and salve combining, intimacy and longing for intimacy. One song, a disastrous surrender and a fine love together. The one who secretly hears this is senseless. A tongue has one customer, the ear. A sugarcane flute has such effect because it was able to make sugar in the reed bed. The sound it makes is for everyone. Days full of wanting, let them go by without worrying that they do. Stay where you are inside such a pure hollow note. Every thirst gets satisfied except that of these fish, the mystics who swim a vast ocean of grace, still somehow longing for it. No one lives in that without being nourished every day. But if someone doesn't want to hear the song of the reed flute, it is best to cut conversation short, say goodbye, and leave. There is some kiss we want with our whole lives. The touch of spirit on the body. Seawater begs the pearl to break its shell. And the lily, how passionately it needs some wild darling. At night, I open the window and
Ask the moon to come and press its face against mine. Breathe into me. Close the language door and open the love window. The moon won't use the door, only the window.
Beautiful, and you picked beautiful sceneries and all
Thank
that,
you.
and your voice is so calming. And
Thank you.
So tell us a couple of things about each one.
Yeah, so these videos I made, I'm pretty excited to see just the amount of people that have been engaging with them and sharing them.
Mm-hmm.
The first one you saw there, if you combine both on Facebook and YouTube, I think it has about 215,000 people who have seen the video, and every day it just keeps growing and growing. I think a lot of people are, at least what I learned from making these videos, I think a lot of people have been seeking for something more in life, some more depth, and I feel like Maulana is a great guide for this, so
Right.
yeah.
It's interesting, as we were watching that, you just opened and finished that bottle of water, right?
Yeah.
Did you think you were just reciting?
Did I think I was what?
You were just
Reciting? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was the, I just realized, okay, I'm done, 2 hours of
Making
traffic,
it-
I'm done here, I'm here.
Good use of
Let
your
me get some
time.
water, yeah.
Right. So, where can people find more about your work with Maulana?
Yeah, so you can go on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
If you search Rumi Quotes Official,
Mm-hmm.
RUMI Quotes QUOTES Official OFFICIAL.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I win a spelling bee with that. No. Rumi Quotes Official, you can find it there. Or I just made a new website. Actually, you can listen to the music, these poems, for free on iTunes, on a podcast. If you just search Rumi Poems on iTunes, you can download them. The first 20 are there, and there's going to be more coming. Probably another 100 or so coming out this year. You can listen to those. If you have the Bluetooth or auxiliary, you can listen to it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Although, just be careful. You start listening too much Maulana, you're going to think that you're flying in the sky. So, just be careful when you listen. Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and then there's a website, rumiquote.com. RUMIQUOTE.com. Someone bought Rumi Quotes, and they want me to pay him $21,000 to buy the website. So I said, no, I'm just gonna get Rumi Quote. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's gonna change soon to Balhi Quotes.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Positive thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
So currently you're busy with all this, or are you doing something else too?
This book has been majority of my attention. Pretty much every day. I've been making a lot more videos. I have a 12-episode series I made with my grandpa, interviewing him. That's actually on my website, adamseddiq.com. They can go adamseddiq.com/shackled. They see all the videos. I'm just very active with making new videos, making new articles, making new content for the promotion of this book, and then also taking all the videos I made, turning it just to the sound, audio, and putting that on a podcast to keep growing. So these two are pretty much my full focus these
Okay,
days.
so you're not doing anything with being a strategist anymore, or?
No, just as soon as I got this book, it's just 1,000 miles ahead on this, 1,000 miles per hour.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
very time consuming. That's very impressive. I'm very proud of you. And I'm sure
Thank
your
you.
parents, your grandfather especially, is very proud of you.
He's excited, yeah.
Great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with traffic and being here. It was very interesting.
pleasure to be
very
here.
inspiring.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. My pleasure. We'll have you again.
Thank you. I
Next
look
time,
forward to it.
Leave a little bit early.
Yes. Yeah, another maybe a day early,
promise
just
you
in
I won't
case.
say.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
خب دوستان عزیز و ارجمند، امیدوارستم که از معلومات برنامه امروز و صحبت‌های مهمان عزیز ما آقای ادم صدیق لذت برده باشین و آموخته باشین. درس‌های خوب است برای زندگی، درس‌های خوب است که برای فرزندان خود بیاموزانیم و اونا یاد بگیرن از تجارب جوانای موفق مثل ادم جان. و اگر سوالایی داشته باشین، اگر معلومات خواسته باشین، میتونین که هم به وبسایت خودشان و فیسبوک برایشان به تماس شوین و هم میتونین بر ما روی ایمیل، روی صفحه تلویزیون است ایمیل کنین و از طریق مسنجر ما حتما پیامک کنه برای ادم جان میرسانم. و باز هم با تشکر مجدد از مهمان عزیز و از همکار بسیار خوبم شهاب جان و شما بینندگان عزیز و ارجمند و گرامی که همیشه مایه انرژی و میشین. برنامه امروز به اینجا به پایان میرسانیم. تا هفته آینده خداوندیار و مددگارتان.
ارکی دانا بود ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.